Hi there, my name is Tom Corradini, and if you landed here, I guess you're interested in theater. I am an actor, theater producer, composer, and this is a vlog about my daily life from mid-May until the end of August. And right now, I am in Thessaloniki, second city in Greece, in the old town, Aniapoli, and I hope I got that right. I tend to forget stuff. Today's topic is going to be, is your story personal or universal? Why I'm saying this? Because sometimes I see great stories that get lost in the air, literally, because people do not realize how universal they are. And sometimes I see maybe stories. I do physical theater. I'm saying story, and this is very important because no matter what you do, I think it must be based on a solid dramaturgy. There are exceptions, as far as that is concerned, especially if you have a solo show, because sometimes a solo show, if we speak about clowning, for example, they may be heavily character based. So, you character very, very well, and then you can do pretty much whatever you want to do. Think about Borat, for example, that character. I'm using Mr. Bean. I'm using movie examples because maybe, I may speak to somebody who's never been to a theater before. I think there was a statistics for the city of Milan, if I'm not mistaken, and less than 2% of the people, living in Milan have ever been to a theater. So imagine 100 people in front of you, 2 people actually did walk inside a theater venue, and 98% of these people just never watched a theater show in their life. It is sad. Well, it is what it is. So anyway, you're gonna hear people passing by. I'm in a corner here, which is kind of quiet. But in any case, I was saying, is your story personal or universal? Can a personal story be universal, vice versa? This is very important, and because you want to. Maybe it's the first story you're writing, so that's kind of unconscious. But as you become a professional performer and writer, and as I said, everything is written down on paper, even if it's silent in a way. Silent movies were written down on paper. Of course, there was no dialogue. Cartoons are a great example. Okay, they actually drawn, and the comedy punches from cartoons usually come from the action. So watching auto cartoons, it's something very good if you are into physical comedy. But like I said, maybe unconsciously you're doing something which is personal based on your life, but at the same time is universal, or you do something which is very, very local, and then eventually, if you're doing something which is very sort of local and really specific to yourself, chances are you're not going to get any chance to tour. Now, I'll explain that in a second. Let me give you a straight example. So I was in 2016 or 2018, I don't remember right now, in Brighton at the Brighton Fringe Festival, and I watch a lot of shows. I don't plan. Sometimes I just go walk inside a venue and watch a show. And there was this presentation. This presentation. I think it was like a preview of shows that were supposed to go to Edinburgh, and it's a comedy club in Brighton. Maybe it's called Comedia. I don't remember right now. Comedia Brighton. You can look it up or whatever. But it was in Brighton, UK, and so there was this sort of double bill. I don't remember how much I paid, but basically I got the chance to watch 2 shows. And the first show was a show performed by a lady. I think she was in her 30s or something. And bear in mind, this was supposed to be stand-up comedy in theory. I'm saying theory because what she did was flabbergasting. I mean, it really hit me in a profound way emotionally. She told the story of her breast cancer. She had a mastectomy, and she told the story in a very theatrical way. It was not even stand-up comedy. It was very physical. I mean, at one point she did like this game with the audience, and I have a vivid memory of the show just from the emotional point of view. And so what happened is, we were, I think, 40 people or something like that. And everybody, I mean, the level of attention was just like so high because people were so interested in what this person was saying that at times they were laughing, but really they were really interested in the story. They just wanted to know her story. There was a real bond between them and this person, okay, who was opening up in an incredible manner. And there wasn't that much laughter in the room, but the level of attention was incredible. I mean, nobody looked at their phones. Everybody was just like, staring at this person, really interested in what she had to say. And I remember she finished the show, she came to me. I don't know why she came to me, actually. I don't know. I just something that happened spontaneously. And she said, "Oh, did you like it?" Which is a question I would never ask. But anyway, and I said, "It was great." I said, "I really have something, with a lot of potential here." And she said, "Maybe," I remember this, "maybe I should work on the jokes." And I said, "No, you got to work on the story. Forget the jokes." And I'm saying this because the show had an incredible potential. This is a universal story. Everybody, falls ill sooner or later. I'm not wishing that on anyone. But, it's a kind of story that would relate to people in France, Germany, China, India, Mozambique, whatever. A universal story based on a personal story. And what I remember then is that the second guy was a man, came, and he did his stand-up comedy routine. And the audience was, laughing, having a good time. But if you ask me what this person said, I just don't remember. I was just like completely uninterested. So this is the power of having something which is personal and universal at the same time. Now, the opposite would be you telling a story which is very, very local. So it could be, your experience. There's a village in Kent which is called Pratt's Bottom, believe it or not. I used that name in a show I did write. Brexit. So you're telling your life story in Pratt's Bottom, how boring it is, how smelly it is, Pratt's Bottom and stuff like that. And all right, and maybe it's you get lots of laughter if you perform in Pratt's Bottom and stuff like that. But as soon as you get out of the circle, it just the story does not appeal to anyone. So you really want to have clear in your mind who your audience is. Are you writing this for a global audience, or are you writing this for just for yourself, or because, I don't know, I mean, nothing wrong with that, but just because, you want to vent on something that happened in your life or whatever, or you want to express something which is very personal in a way, but too specific. So, yeah, bear that in mind. If you're writing on a big scale and you say, okay, you find a topic. I'll give you some examples of topics. Shakespeare is a great Shakespeare's plays are a great example, universal stories. Revenge, Hamlet, jealousy, Othello, love, Romeo and Juliet, and The Merchant of Venice, money and greed, and so on. So if you're writing something for, a global audience, so to speak, your perspective changes completely, and you're gonna avoid small topics. In my case, for example, I try to find universal topics. So cyberbullying, totalitarianism with Mussolini, and gambling addiction, and so on. I always do comedy, but there's always something like a social theme lurking underneath. So that's the thing. And also, as your vision expands, and I told you about a book in one of the previous videos, and you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to take this show, for example, to Iran, and I'm going to take this show to India, and I'm going to take this show to China, whatever, then you really have to bear in mind also the fact that some audiences will be sensitive, so to speak, to certain things. So, for example, I spoke in a previous video about nudity. Well, nudity will be taboo completely in a place like probably India or Iran or whatever. Nothing wrong with that. That's a big opportunity. And don't get it wrong. The fact that you have an obstacle in front of you enhances creativity. It works the opposite way. If everything is easy, you're not going to get creative. But if something is difficult, you got an obstacle, a hurdle in front of you, then your creativity will be enhanced. As Marcus Aurelius, the famous Roman emperor, said, one of the fathers of Stoic philosophy, the obstacle does not impede action. The obstacle triggers action. And with that, I'm going to leave you. Hope you have a beautiful day. And I think I'm going to enjoy myself here in Thessaloniki. enjoy life. Bye bye.